Hello everyone, Lisa here, aka Crafting Diva. Thank you so much for joining me on my YouTube channel today. Hope you're all doing well. Thank you so much for joining me. Bit of a different angle that I'm filming today, and I think this is going to be a video you've all been waiting for me to film and upload. This is going to be my Q&A video, part 1 from my 900 subscribers question and answer giveaway that I ran recently. A huge thank you to everyone that took part. I've got a huge list of questions to get through, so what I thought I'd do is split this into 2 videos. I thought also what I'd do in this video is I'd do a bit of colouring so it's not too boring for you, and also I get asked a lot of the time when I upload my videos and share coloured stamped images that I've done. You always ask, how do I colour my images, what pens do I like to use, how do I colour my images? So I thought this would be a good idea to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. You can see how I do my colouring, what sort of pens I like to use, why I answer your questions, and as you will see, I'm not fussy about my colouring. I do not spend hours on one image. It gets a quick colour, a quick blend. Sometimes I like to add my white pen to pick out detail, but I do not spend hours and hours colouring one image. Yeah, so without further ado, what I'm going to do is read out of your question as we go, and I hope you're going to enjoy this video, and I hope it helps you to get to know me a little bit better. I hope this angle is okay for you. I'm sitting down filming for a change. As usual when I do my filming I'm standing up, so it feels quite nice to be sitting down. So what we'll do first of all is start this tilde image. This is a little tilde Australia stamp that I had, and the pens I like to use, which I tell you lots and lots in my videos, is I'm a Copic pen fan. These are expensive pens, I totally understand that. These are an investment. I just went for these as I did have the Spectrum Noir pens. I sold them and I managed to buy a lady's bundle that she was destashing of these Copic Cairo pens. I love these pens because A, they're refillable, although now the refills are rather expensive. You can be lucky and pick them up on special offers, but not very often. But I love these because they are refillable, and these pens you get the beautiful brush tip with and a chisel tip, and I've just used these for years and years and I still love them. Yeah, I do begrudge paying the price for a refill when I need one, and yeah, there is cheaper alternate pens out there, but I love these, so I'm just sticking with these at the moment. So first of all, I'm going to colour this tilde Australia pen, and I'm going to do her skin tone first of all. I like to use Skin White E00 as my base. So let's do that, and then we'll answer question number 1. So question number 1 I received was from Pip Brass, who was my 2nd place winner of my giveaway, and her question was, which is your favourite cardstock paper stock supplier? Well, Pip, great question, because there is so many different cardstock brands out there. Crafters Companion here in the UK, you can buy in America as well and around the world, but Crafters Companion do a lovely collection of different textured cards, glitter card, anything a bit more specialist. So Crafters Companion, I really do like their cardstock, but for my matte and layer cardstock or any sort of die cutting that I want to do with just basic coloured cardstock, my favourite has to be American Crafts card. Again, it can be a little bit expensive to buy, but hopefully it's going to show on camera. I absolutely love this cardstock because it has the texture to the actual front of the cardstock, and then it is plain at the back. Absolutely love this. It die cuts beautifully, it cuts lovely. Yeah, you get a nice array of colours. I've been lucky and managed to pick up packs of this in TK Maxx before in 12 by 12 sheets, because they like to sell them as 12 by 12s as well. So yeah, American Crafts cardstock would have to be my 100% favourite paper cardstock supplier. For pattern papers, there's so many different brands I love. I love all the American brands of the little paper collections they bring out. Simple Stories, Echo Park, all those sort of designs are absolutely beautiful. But then you can get nice pads from Crafter's Companion. I used to love first edition paper pads, but unfortunately they're discontinued. But you can still pick them up on certain sites like eBay and things like that. So I hope that answers your question, Pip. Big thank you for the question and congratulations again on being my second place winner. So as you can see, I've got the base colour down so far using the E00, and then to add a bit of detail I'm going to come in with the baby skin pink E21, and then all I like to do is just go around the edge of the face or the edge of whatever design you are doing. It looks really dark and bright at the moment, but as that alcohol evaporates, it does really look nice. So I just go round the edge where a shadow would be. I'd follow the lines that have been made on the stamp, so like this. And then what I do is come back in with my E00, and then I just very gently give it a little blend by doing a circular motion with the paler colour, just to blend that together. So if we go on to question number 2, question number 2 is from June King 766. No, sorry, June King 7600, and her question was, what's the one piece of tools you don't have that you really would like? Great question, June. I think the one tool that I do not own that I've always wanted to have and to try out would have to be a bind it all machine, because I do like to make mini albums and I've never actually used a binding machine before, so I would like to give that a go, see if it is easier to make your mini little albums with. Yeah, I think really that is the main tool that I would like, because I have got my die cutting machines that I love. I'm super lucky and I do own a Brother Scan and Cut, so yeah, maybe a bind it all machine would be great to try. Yeah, I can't really think of any other tools. I've got punches, obviously I've got dies, so yeah, I think that would be the main tool that I would like. So on to number 3, question number 3, which was from Handmade by Mandy. Her question was, what's your favourite thing to make? My favourite thing to make, right, I'm going to go on to doing her clothes now, and I'm going to use a G21 lime green, so I'm going to do that as we talk. Favourite thing to make, I do like making my cards, because then I can use all my pattern papers. I love to layer my pattern papers up. Cards, yes, is definitely my first passion, because I've card made from the very beginning really of my crafting journey. Again, I like mini albums, because again you can use all your different pattern papers, you can use different embellishments in those, and they're great to make for keepsake gifts. I like off the page projects. I've done quite a few of those. Not really into soft craft. I don't do any sewing or anything like that. I do like to use felt. I've used felt before in my crafting. But yeah, mainly cards. I like to make paper crafts, anything to do with papers, die cutting, mixing all the different elements like that together. So I think my main favourite craft thing to make would have to be cards, because they are just fun to make. I love to give them to other people and see their reactions when they receive them. So yeah, I think handmade cards would have to be my favourite. So on to question number 4 from Christamel 902. How many repeated craft products do you have? if you mean repeated as in the same colour or the same product, I would say I'm quite lucky, and I don't think I've got anything that I've got two of. Obviously I've got loads of inks, loads of pens, loads of punches, dies, but I don't actually think I've got anything bar possibly like a circle shaped die set where I've got different sizes or sort of things like that. I don't really think I do have any repeated craft products, because I do try to be really good and really be mindful of what I'm buying, you know, what I'm adding to my craft space. And obviously where I do my magazine commissions, I get products from those as well, so I'm quite mindful of what I'm adding into my craft room. So yeah, I don't actually think I do own anything that is a repeated craft product, if that's what you mean. So a huge thank you for your question. Next question from Pen Pal with Don, sorry. Which favourite paper craft tool do you use, and what couldn't you live without? Definitely 100% the craft tool I could not live without. I'm going on now with Pea Green YG63. The product I definitely could not live without would have to be my Cuttlebug machine. I was brought a Cuttlebug machine when they first came out as a gift, and I had the green machine, which I absolutely loved. It got a little bit worn, but it still worked, so I thought it was time to invest in a new one. And as I heard that Cuttlebug were going to be discontinuing the machine, I decided to get myself another one. So now I've got a pink and white Cuttlebug. I brought it secondhand off eBay, so yeah. And then I've got my spare Cuttlebug machine that I have kept, and that is up in my loft, so I've got it there as a backup. But yeah, absolutely could not live out without my Cuttlebug machine. Other machines I've got is my Brother Scan and Cut. Again, I couldn't really live without that, because that really is so handy, especially doing my magazine work. If I have to do a certain shaped card, or I need a certain shape that I haven't got a die of, I go to my Brother Scan and Cut. So again, absolutely love that. Yeah, they're about the two that I really couldn't live without. Obviously your basic tools you can't live without, your scissors, your glue. Definitely 100% as well, I could not live without my new Sweet Petunia glue press. I've only recently treated myself to this, and so far I absolutely love it. So yeah, I would recommend, if you haven't looked into those, they are definitely a game changer for applying your glue. And yeah, I haven't had any trouble with that blocking, or you know, having any trouble with that at all. So yeah, again, I would definitely say maybe my Sweet Petunia glue press as well. So thank you so much, Dom, for your question. On to the next question is from Jenny Ninja Crafts. Is there any craft that you haven't had a chance to try? Well, there is lots and lots of crafts I haven't tried. Like I say, I'm not a soft craft person. I've never done sewing. I've made little handmade things that I've hand sewn myself, like Christmas tree decorations. But yeah, sewing I definitely have never tried. Yeah, soft craft. I've not really done a lot of sort of like, I've done diamond press before, but I've not like gone major into it. I've done wax seals. Yeah, I think maybe sewing and soft craft is really the only craft that I haven't had a chance to try, and I'm not quite sure if it would be my thing. Yeah, sewing, I've just never really gone down that path. Knitting as well, anything like that, crocheting, I've never tried. I'm going to do the hair now, so I'm going to use a E33 pen and an E35 pen for her hair. So we'll get on and do some hair. See, so as you can see, I'm not really that particular about my colouring. I'm not spending hours on certain areas blending or anything like that. So on to the next question, which is from Handmade by Abigail 6848, and she's asked, who's your favorite YouTubers? And that is a very hard question because I watch so many different YouTube channels out there. Obviously I've got all my lovely ladies that join in with my challenges, and I absolutely love coming by your channels and checking out your videos. So we've got so many there I could name. Craft channels that I enjoy, I love Alta channel, I love Lisa Halton's YouTube channel. I regularly tune into her lives. She does some great demonstrations. I love Penny Black Ink YouTube channel because if you don't know, I'm a huge Penny Black stamp fan. I also love a channel called Inky Expressions. I'll link that in the description box below. That's a great channel. Julia Michaels also, which is 17 Turtles, is a great channel. I do love to watch her YouTube channel because she does a lot of Tim Holtz designs, die cutting, things like that. So I really like her channel. Oh, there's so many channels, isn't there? They're just so many different ladies, gentlemen that take different styles of crafting. So there's definitely lots out there to watch. Another one I like is Becca Ray Arts. She does a lot of sort of inking backgrounds, using her inks, die cutting, things like that. So really they're sort of the main ones that I do like to watch. But like I say, I watch so many different YouTube channels. I watch a lot of the Americans because obviously they get products a lot quicker than we do here in the UK. Obviously I've got all my favorites. I've got Christine Cards and Things, we've got Jenny Ninja Crafts, Tracy Wellham, we've got Lorna Callahan, Anne Lane doesn't have a YouTube channel but she's always commenting on my videos. Margaret Flaxman, she comes to lots of our channels, doesn't she? Oh, I could reel off a whole list of ladies. Jenny's Crafty Corner, so many different ladies. If you watch my YouTube channel, if you are a subscriber, you know that I mention lots of different YouTube channels that join in with my challenges and watch my channel. So yeah, they're the main ones at the moment that I have been watching quite regularly. Right, next question is from Margaret Flaxman. Talking of Margaret, do you ever use a gel plate and paint? And yeah, Margaret, that's not really anything that I've actually had a go at. I like using paint. I'm not a huge paint fan, but yes, I wouldn't say I own a jelly roll plate or that I've used one. Yeah, it's maybe something I could look into using, but yeah, I've never really gone down that route of using anything like that. So maybe that is something I could do with going into looking into a bit more what it would be like to use a jelly roll plate, because I have seen that people can make some beautiful backgrounds using them, and they're great for different types of techniques. So maybe something I could look into. So I've just done the little banner with an E25 pen. I think we will do her scarf in a nice dark green. So I've got a BG96 here. So thank you so much, Margaret, for your question. On to the next one. We've got Cross Key Crafts, and she'd like to know, do you have a favourite craft brand and what is it? Favorite craft brand, again, so many different brands, because obviously where I do my magazine work and where I have to sort of keep up a bit with the trends, I have to sort of use so many different brands. But I'm a huge Lisa Halton Crafts fan. I've worked on her magazines and I've bought her dies and products with my own money. She is really sort of my style of crafting, as well as before she brought out a collection of dies that had all stitch edges. Let me see if I can find one like this design. This is a really old design of hers, but I absolutely loved it because it had all the stitch edge and detail to it. And now obviously she does her 3D embossing folders that I absolutely love. So Lisa Halton Crafts I really like. I also like, obviously, the American brands, like I've said to you. Simple Stories, Echo Park, Graphic 45. They are really, really nice, aren't they? You've got to be really make something pretty if you're going to use Graphic 45 papers. I'm just going to use a B99, just to add a little bit of blue for her belt. Yeah, so many different brands. Like I said to you, I was a huge fan of first edition paper pads that were from Trimcraft. I really loved those. What other brands do I like? Paper Mania, I absolutely used to love when they were about. Yeah, I can't really think of any other brands. Obviously Tim Holtz, you would know that if you know my YouTube channel. Absolutely huge fan of Tim Holtz. Penny Black stamps, like I said earlier. Cattlebug, again, I love. I've had their machine for years. I've got a huge collection of their embossing folders and their dies, and they just work every single time. Yeah, I can't really think of any other major brands that I would say are my absolute favourite, but to be honest, I'm not really that fussed about what the brand is. It's how good the product is. Is it something that's going to inspire me? So yeah, they're the main ones that I'd say are ones that I would gravitate to more. So I'm just going to use a little cotton bud with a little bit of red ink on, just to add a bit of red to her cheeks. Oh, I think my ink's dried up. Let me just find a red ink pad. So all I do is just get a little red ink pad, dip my little cotton bud in, and then just colour around her cheeks. So as you can see, I don't spend hours blending and blending my images. Like I say, I do like to get a white pen and obviously pick out a bit more of the detail with a white pen. But yeah, that is my little coloured Tilda. So we'll go on and do a little boy now while we carry on. So a huge thank you for that question, Cross Key Crafts. Next was Elizabeth's Crafty Things. What item have you purchased that you hate and don't know why you brought it? That's quite a good question, Elizabeth. Wouldn't say there's lots of products that I've brought that I really hate. I have brought this before that I pulled out of my drawer. It was the Cosmic Shimmer Chalk Cloud Blending Ink. These came out and they was going to be all the rage and they were supposed to be fantastic. So I treated myself to 2 little tubs to try. And yes, I think these have just sat in my drawers and I've not really used them. I couldn't really get on with them, and to be honest, the colour was quite pale of these 2 that I brought. And yeah, I would say this is the product I brought and never really used. Can't really think of anything else that I brought that I actually hated. Let me have a little think. See, most things, like I say, I got a lot from my magazine work, so obviously that is great. Yeah, I've not really got a product that I've brought that I absolutely hate. Like I say, I brought that coloured cloud and never really used it. So that obviously tells you that it wasn't very good and I didn't enjoy crafting with it. Gilding flakes, again, was the in thing. Everyone was using gilding flakes, so I did treat myself and brought some gilding flakes. Again, I didn't hate them, but it just was such a messy craft. It gave a lovely effect when you did use them, but again, I've got gilding flakes and the glue and I don't really gravitate to use them. So I'd say those 2 products mainly are ones that I've brought and yeah, wouldn't buy again. So yeah, I'd say those 2. Right, next question is from Big Mama 6584, which is Jane. What was your first crafty make? My first crafty make, I can remember as a child I had a little sewing, make your own little teddy bear or a little doll. It was all pre-cut and all you did was very basic hand stitching to make this little teddy bear or doll, I think it was. So I'd say that was my very, very first, you know, go at crafting as a tiny little child. as in crafting wise that has led to my card making, I'd say the first sort of products and things I were making were just really basic mini cards. I made the smallest little cards you possibly could. I made little gift tags and things like that, so they were kind of my first little step into card making. I just had the bare minimum of products, and yeah, I just made some like really mini cards with stickers and peel off stickers, if you remember when they were really big in the crafting industry. So yeah, cards was really, and my little mini sewing project was my very first little dip into crafting. So thank you so much, Jane, for your question. Next question is from Little Paper Craft, which is Denise. Do you do any other crafting other than paper crafts? Like I say, paper crafting, sort of mixed media, off the page projects are my main crafting I do. Obviously I love my die cutting, I love using my Brother Scan and Cut. I don't do sewing, I don't do quilling, I don't do crocheting, so nothing like that. I like a bit of gardening, if you class that as sort of a craft, but yeah, other than that, I don't really do any other crafting. I'm mainly just a paper crafter who loves using paper, scissors, stamps obviously is my main favourite thing to craft with. So yeah, I don't really do any other craft than paper crafting really, Denise. Thank you so much for your question. Next question is from Lorna Callahan. Do you have a favourite craft shop? Well, not locally and not one that is open anymore. My all-time favourite craft shop that I absolutely love, that some of you may remember, was a craft shop called the Glitter Pot. It had a online store where you could obviously place orders for craft products and they'd send them to you, and they also had a physical store, and it was quite a journey for me to go to their physical store, but I went twice I think, and yeah, it was definitely a days out journey to get there, and I made it into a little breakaway because obviously the distance I was traveling to get there, and it was a fantastic shop. If you know, like I said, I'm a huge Penny Black fan, and they were known for supplying and stocking Penny Black wooden stamps at the time in the UK. And yeah, I walked into their shop the very first time and it was like heaven. They just had a whole wall that was covered in Penny Black wooden stamps, and I was in my element. I could have stood there for half an hour just looking at all the different wooden stamps. I absolutely loved the shop because they did all the American brands. You could get Martha Stewart punches, Doodlebug paper collections, you know, Simple Stories papers. They did all the different sort of American brands, and for being in the UK, that was such a big thing, especially when I started crafting and these products started coming into the UK. Yeah, so it was a great time to go there, and so obviously I went again another time because they'd relocated to a new store, so I wanted to see what that was like, and again it was fantastic. By that time, so many craft products were coming into the UK, so they started having do crafts products, trim craft products, all things like that, woodware they started stocking. So it was just the perfect store for me. Absolutely loved the store, and ordering online, I don't know how many orders I used to place with them because, like I say, they supplied everything I liked: stamps, inks, dyes, all the different brands. It was fantastic, but unfortunately, as times is, it has now shut down. They don't have the physical store and they don't have the website anymore, so I really do miss that. That was the Glitter Pot. Other shops, to be honest, in my area, we don't have hardly any craft stores at all. I've got a local hobby craft that's recently opened up, but it's not great. They don't have hardly any paper craft section in the store. They do the cricket machines and obviously all the other crafts, knitting, sewing, all things like that. But yeah, don't really have a local shop or store that I love. So for the clothes, just quickly to tell you, I've done a BG13 and a BG23 for his little dungarees. Again, use the same skin colour and the same browns. So thank you so much for your question, Lorna. Hope that answered it for you. Next, we've got a question from Contessa Crafts, which is Lynn. What craft tool gadget is your favourite to use and you could not live without? Great question again, Lynn. My favourite gadgets, like I've said previously, 100% Cuttlebug die cutting machine, absolutely love it. Brother scan and cut machine, absolutely love it. Obviously, like I said to you just now, my Sweet Petunia glue press, 100% could not live without that now. Absolutely love it. Another tool that I invested in quite a long time, many years ago, is this We Are Memory Keepers eyelet and hole punch. Yeah, I've had this absolutely years. I think I brought this from QVC. It came in a case with all different size eyelets. Again, absolutely love this tool. It punches through cardstock, chipboard, tin, leather. It's such a great tool. I go to this lots and lots of times whenever I need a hole or an eyelet attaching to my projects. It does the small eyelets or the larger eyelets, and yeah, like I said, I've had this absolutely years and couldn't live without that. Ink pads, of course, I could not live without. My Tim Holtz Distress inks, my oxide inks, I could not live without them. And finally, 100%, I could not live without my Tim Holtz products and my rubber stamps. They are just my go-to. If I want to craft, what do I want to get? I get out either my Tim Holtz dyes, inks, and have a play with them, or I get a stamp out, have a stamp, and have a sit down and a colour. So yeah, they're mainly the main products that I've got and could not live without. So we'll do one more question and then I'm going to stop for today, and then we'll come back and do a part 2. So the final question for today is going to be Jenny's Crafty Corner, and she'd like to know, how did you get into making designs for magazines? Great question, Jenny, as I'm asked this a lot. My crafting journey started with, like I say, the very of basic craft items. Not to tell anyone else's business, but I had a family member who was recovering from a little operation, and to help them recover, we got them a little craft set, and I used to go around and we used to do a little bit of crafting, a little bit of sticking with some stickers, and just make some little cards and things like that while she was recuperating. And it just, you know, was fun to go and see how she was doing, and, you know, sit and help her take her mind off things. So started there, really got into crafting and finding all the new products that were coming out into the market. Then started buying some of the craft magazines that were starting to get published around that time, because you've got to understand that I've been crafting now for 10 plus years, I think it may be. So I've seen it from no craft products to the market getting a bit flooded with craft products to how it is today. There wasn't many craft magazines, there wasn't shopping TV that showed you how to make things and demos and things like that. So craft magazines started to come out onto the market, so I started buying those, and you'd learn new techniques, you'd see new products that were coming out and you'd buy them. And then the craft magazines evolved and they got better and better. And then they started doing sort of card making competitions where they'd set you a theme, make a birthday card and send your card in and you could win a prize. So I started taking part in their little challenges they would run in the magazines. It was great fun. It meant I could use some products up that I had in my stash. I could send it in and get a response of what other people thought of my designs. And I was super lucky and I won a few prizes from doing that. Then the craft magazine started doing competitions like Card Maker of the Year. And first of all, it started off that you had to make cards following each brand. So it was make a card using Doodlebug brand, make a card using Woodware brand products. So I started entering some of those, and you'd have to have all these different brands and make a card design using just that brand of products. So I entered a few of those a couple of years and didn't get anything, but I thought I'm going to keep trying. So every year when this competition would come up, I would enter. And then I started winning a few runner-up prizes. So I started thinking, maybe my card making is getting a little bit better. Maybe my designs are, you know, standing out to the magazine designers and producers. So I entered another year and I got another couple of runners-up prizes. Then I entered in 2014 in Card Maker of the Year in Card Making and Papercraft and Quick Cards magazine, which unfortunately has now stopped and isn't being printed anymore from Practical Publishing. And the magazines had evolved that the prizes now were that you could win a massive bundle of craft products, but you also could become a designer for the magazine. And that was would have been heaven to me. It was my dream that I would never accomplish. I would often think about how great it would be to design cards and have them printed in the magazine as a designer, and never in my wildest dreams did I think that I would ever accomplish that sort of goal. But so I entered that year 2014. You had to send in 3 card designs, but this time you could use any products you wanted. So what I do is see if I can add a picture of the cards that I won with at the end of the video. And yeah, I was so shocked that I got a email, I think, to start with, to say that I'd won. Then I got a phone call to confirm that I was the winner, and I had to do a little phone interview that the magazine printed in the issue when they announced the winners. And I was the winner in 2014 of Card Maker of the Year. I got an amazing prize package of so many different products, and I got to work for Card Making and Papercraft and Quick Cards Made Easy. And that's how it started. Then I started joining some of the design teams for companies. So I've worked for Angela Paul, Crafter's Companion, Crafty Devils. I worked for Craft Stash for a little while doing samples for their lives that they used to run on their Facebook pages. I've done magazine work for Simply Cards and Papercraft, Die Cuts Essentials. Obviously now I do quite a lot of the Craft Essentials series magazines, which is a whole mix of brands like John Next Door, Phil Martin, Indigo Blue, Lisa Halton. So they're all like the magazine box kits that I do mainly work for now. But yeah, 100% never in my wildest dreams did I think I would ever do designs for magazines. And that's how it all started, just from growing my craft products, entering the little competitions in the magazines, and then having the super amazing announcement that I won Card Maker of the Year in 2014. Like I say, it was totally bad news when we heard that Card Making and Papercraft and Quick Cards were shutting down, but obviously Papercraft Practical Publishing has continued, and they do some fantastic magazines now. Obviously they work with all the different brands that I've said. Two Red Robins is a new commission that I've got coming up very soon that I can't wait to share the sneak peek video with you all. So I hope that answers your question, Jenny, of how I got into making designs for the magazines. Yeah, it was quite a long journey. It took many years before I even got picked as the winner, and yeah, just was a totally surprising and shocking day when I did find out that I was the winner. So I hope you've enjoyed this part 1 of the Q&A video from my 900 subscriber giveaway. As you can see, we've got 2 little stamped and coloured images now that I can cut out and have ready when I want to use them in a project. So thanks so much for watching today. Hope it's got some information out to you so you know me a little bit better. And I hope you'll look out for part 2 of my question and answer video. That'll be up very soon. And hope you have a lovely rest of your day. Thanks so much for watching. And I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.